Hello and welcome to a new video blog from www.bestselfexperience.com. I was highly inspired by a very good friend of mine who, when talking to her the other day, told me that her mantra for 2012 is no. To me, this was incredibly powerful because most of our New Year intentions and resolutions and mantras are often about bringing more in, about being more, about doing more and doing better. Hers was no. In other words, her resolution was about creating more boundaries for herself in order to eventually experience more freedom. Now, saying no is the #1 burnout cure, but it is not as easy as we think. Now, I'm not just talking about saying no to the unreasonable stuff. That's fairly easy. The ability to say no is also about saying no to those requests or asks that are in fact totally reasonable. And it can be incredibly uncomfortable and even scary to say no to reasonable favors. In order to get better at saying no, it is important to understand the underlying causes or reasons for why you are unable to say no and why you're feeling uncomfortable saying no. Now, every person is different, and it is important to know your own tendencies when it comes to saying no. There are just a few tendencies that I have noticed in myself or with my private clients or friends. And I'm going to mention a couple of these. Now, the first tendency is feeling that you might miss out on something good if you say no. Some of us might have difficulty saying no to special events or going out, even though our physical, mental, and emotional body really need peace, quiet, and rest. Perhaps we are scared that by not going, we will miss out on meeting a new best friend, a new client, even a potential romantic partner. But if your body and mind really needs a rest, do you really think you're going to be able to attract a new best friend or a new romantic partner, just to take an example? Another tendency I've noticed is the tendency to always want to do what is right or want to do what is smart, to do what you think you should be doing. A lot of us should ourselves into doing things that do not actually resonate with us, and therefore in the end will actually not work out for us. We can become so scared of not doing things that are right or things that are smart that we forget to listen to our own inner voice, and it might not actually work for us. However, if we are constantly doing things we should be doing as opposed to listening to our own inner voice, we may end up running around in circles and beating our head against an invisible energetic wall because it just may not work out for us. It may not be true for us. So saying no to something that your ego and mind thinks is right or smart while your inner voice is screaming no is a really good step in the right direction of preventing or overcoming burnout and stress. A third tendency is that we really just want to be liked. Who doesn't? Perhaps we feel guilty saying no to certain requests. We know that helping our best friend cooking a meal for her 30th birthday is the right thing to do, and we don't want to become the unhelpful best friend. You know, who wants to be the unhelpful best friend? But if our bodies are tired, our mental and emotional bodies are tired, you are doing yourself and your best friend a disservice by saying yes to helping her. You are tiring yourself out even more, and you might even screw up the cooking, right? Now, we all want to be liked, and some of us want to be liked by pleasing other people. We may have an idea that by pleasing other people, we become more worthy, we become more liked, we are more liked. But remember that saying no, even when it does not please other people, will please you in the end. And you will like yourself and respect yourself for it in the end. And so will other people. A last tendency that I've noticed, especially myself, is a tendency to want to prove to yourself and others that you are fully capable. You might have, let's say, 2 hours in between your yoga class and your coffee date with your colleague, but that does not mean that you have to fill this space out. Sometimes we simply need to do nothing. We just need doing nothing time for ourselves, time to reflect, time to just lie down and notice our breath, or whatever tickles your fancy for doing nothing time. So these were just a couple of tendencies that I have myself noticed or experienced that prevent us from saying no when we really need to. Saying no to things that don't serve us in any way or exhaust us further is the first step in preventing and overcoming burnout. So I invite you today to sit for a minute or two and become aware about your own tendencies. In what situations do you feel uncomfortable saying no? And for what underlying reason? I would love to hear from you. So please leave a comment on my website at www.bestselfexperience.com. Bye for now.